Hi guys, I'm back again. Football 11 24/7. I'm your host, Jamie Carter. What we're going to do today is we're going to cover the last sort of three seasons of the Premier League. I started it off going back a number of episodes ago. I believe I got up to 2016-17 season. So what I'm doing today is covering from the 2017-18 Premier League season up until the present day season, which is the 22-23 season. So gone through all of them, as I say, most of the seasons, but we're going to go into the 2017-18 season. The previous season, Chelsea had won the league. Excuse me. Antonio Conte had done a great job of getting the title, winning the title, after Leicester's crazy title win the season before in the 2015-16. But going into the following season, 2017-18, Manchester City were to take the title away from Chelsea. Chelsea fell down the league a bit more in the 2017-18 season. They finished in fifth. Um, and Manchester United were the surprise package now to finish second. So we're not really surprised. They finished second, but in the 2017-18 season, Manchester City dominated it. They finished with a goal difference of plus 79. They finished with 100 points, and Manchester United, as I say, who finished second in the 2017-18 season, they finished with 81 points. So we're 19 points behind, which is crazy. And then Spurs were even further behind with 77 points in third. Liverpool finished fourth with 75, with Chelsea in fifth and Arsenal in sixth. But, you know, that's how it ended up. But going into the relegation areas, Swansea had a number of seasons in the Premier League. They'd had about 6 seasons in the Premier League, but eventually they were to go down on the last day of the season. Swansea was to go down, and Stoke went down after having a long time in the Premier League, of being up there for I think 4 or 5 seasons as well. So, and that West Bromwich Albion finished bottom of the tables that season. So, like in the team, the top goal scorer for that season was Mohamed Salah with 32 goals. The FWA player of the season was Mohamed Salah. The PFA Young Player of the Year was Leroy Sané of Manchester City, and the PFA Player of the Year was Mohamed Salah. So Mo Salah got three awards there. No surprise in the team of the season for the 2017-18 season. Mohamed Salah, Sergio Aguero, and Harry Kane were up front. In the midfield, it was Kevin De Bruyne, Christian Eriksen, and David Silva. Marcus Alonso, Jan Vertonghen, Nicholas Otamendi, and Kyle Walker was in defence, and David De Gea was in as the goalkeeper for the PFA team of the season. So it was a great season. Arsenal finally said goodbye to Arsene Wenger. He holds the record as the longest serving Premier League manager, being having a 22-year stint in charge of the club. He won 7 FA Cups and 3 league titles at that point. The last couple of seasons, to be fair, Arsenal fans have been calling to get rid of Arsene Wenger, mainly because they weren't really ever challenging for the title anymore for quite a long time since they last won it in 2003-04. But, like I say, he won some more FA Cups along the way. But I think a lot of the Arsenal fans were really ungrateful when you think that before Arsene came along, they had a rich history, but they weren't that successful in the previous sort of 5-6 years before that, and they had not always finished in the top four consistently, like they had done with Arsene Wenger for all of his reign, pretty much, apart from one season, I believe. So, which was that season that he finished the 2017-18. So, yeah, like I say, Swansea, Stoke, West Bromwich Albion went down. Goal of the season was from Sofon Boufal for Southampton against West Bromwich Albion. And star of the show for the season goes without saying, Mohamed Salah. So breakthrough season for Salah, 32 goals. It's the most he's scored so far in one season for Liverpool. But going into the 2018-19 season, obviously Manchester City had won the title convincingly by 19 points the previous season. They were to win the league yet again. This time, they had new challenges behind them. In second was Liverpool with 97 points. Manchester City finished first again with 98 points. Chelsea finished in third. Arsenal finished in fourth. Just outside in fifth and sixth was Arsenal and Manchester United. So, and then the relegation zone, or the teams that got relegated, that's in the 2018-19 season. It was Cardiff City, Fulham, both teams that have been promoted, and Huddersfield Town after having one season where they stayed up in the 2017-18 season. Narrowly, Huddersfield eventually went back down to the Championship. Top goal scorer again was joint this time. Well, it was Mohamed Salah, but with 22 goals, and also Sadio Mane of Liverpool as well with 22 goals. Golden Boot winner. Oh, and also Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got 22 goals. So 3 players finished on 22 goals each. FWA Player of the Year was Raheem Sterling for Manchester City. PFA Young Player of the Year was Raheem Sterling for Manchester City, and PFA Player of the Year was Virgil van Dijk, who had a great breakthrough season at Liverpool, helped Liverpool to nearly win the title, but like I say, they just missed out on 1 point to Manchester City. They'd lost out to Manchester City in the 2013-14 season as well. There was a sad thing that happened in the 2018-19 season. Vichai, can't say his name, but the Leicester City chairman, basically, he died in a helicopter crash. So very, very sad. Leicester had a decent season. They finished ninth. And I remember that season they were playing away at Cardiff. The next game after the chairman had unfortunately died, and they won that game 1-0. I think pretty much everyone in the country wanted them to win that game after what had happened. So, yeah, not a bad season. As I say, Manchester City finished top in the 2018-19, Liverpool second, Chelsea third, Spurs fourth. Andros Townsend got the goal of the season, and that was away at Manchester City. Crystal Palace pulled off a shock. He scored from 35 yards out and gave Ederson absolutely no chance in the City goal. And as I say, star of the show that season was Virgil van Dijk. Team of the season, Sadio Mane and Aguero up front, Raheem Sterling, Paul Pogba, Fernandinho, Bernardo Silva across the midfield, Andrew Robertson, Aymeric Laporte, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold in defence, and Ederson, the Manchester City goalkeeper. And that was that. So the first stadium goal in the new Tottenham Stadium that season was to come from Son Heung-min, and he became the first goal scorer in a 2-0 win at home to Crystal Palace in the new Spurs Stadium. So they still call it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but it's literally right next door to where the old stadium was, White Hart Lane. So, yeah, so that was that season. So Manchester City, back-to-back titles. Going into the 2019-20 season, and the momentous occasion was about to happen. Liverpool, since the start of the Premier League era in 92-93, had not won a Premier League title. This was all to change in the 2019-20 season. As we know, because of coronavirus, most of that season was played with no fans in the grounds. Unfortunate for Liverpool fans, they didn't get to celebrate in front of their fans at Anfield. In the game when they won the league, they won 5-3 against Chelsea. So they put on a great show. It was on Sky. I remember watching it on the TV. Things of note from the season was it was just pretty soulless. Like Sky Sports had tried to do one channel where the crowd was on and one where the crowd wasn't on, and you could hear all the swearing from all the management and the players and stuff, which was quite amusing. But yeah, Liverpool picked up the title, and they won it quite convincingly. They finished 18 points clear of Manchester City. They finished at the top with 99 points. Manchester City had 81 points. Manchester United finished third with 66, miles behind Liverpool and Manchester City, like the seasons before. Chelsea finished fourth with 66. Leicester finished just outside with 62 points. And then you had Spurs in sixth with 59 points. Teams that got relegated in the 2019-20 season. Bournemouth, after having 4 or 5 seasons in the Premier League, they finally went back down to the Championship. Watford went down, and Norwich City went down into the Championship that season. In the team of the top goal scorer for the season was Jamie Vardy for Leicester City with 23 goals. FWA Player of the Year was Jordan Henderson of Liverpool. PFA Young Player of the Year was Trent Alexander-Arnold at Liverpool. And PFA Player of the Year was Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City. So, great season for Liverpool. Finally ending 30 years of waiting. They'd not won a league title since 1989-90. in the old First Division. So it was a long, long time for them to wait. But finally, 30 years later, they got their first Premier League title. So would it be the first of many? No one, we don't know. But we do know one thing. The next season, it was all change again. Manchester City won in the 2020-21 season. They won the title. Finishing quite far ahead. It was still into COVID era. Still, COVID is going on quite a bit. In fact, it dominates a lot of that season. I forgot to say in the 2019-20 season, it wasn't all of the season. I think the first 3 months of the season was okay, or the first half or so, and then it went, I think, it just went bad after that. But anyway, 2020-21 season, City take control again of the Premier League title. It's now 3 titles in 4 seasons for Manchester City. Manchester City finished top with 86 points. Yet again, Manchester rivals Manchester United finishing second after a couple of seasons of Liverpool finishing second or first. Manchester United finished second with 74 points. Liverpool finished third with 69 points, and Chelsea finished in fourth with 67 points. Just outside of the top 4 for the Champions League, Leicester City finished fifth, another good 5th place finish, but they sort of surrender their 4th place that they were in for most of the season to Chelsea, finishing with 1 point behind them and going to the Europa League. And West Ham have a superb season, finishing in 6th with 65 points. They go into the Europa League, and Spurs go into the Europa Conference League with 62 points. So the Europa Conference League comes into play this season. Things start to change. Kevin De Bruyne is the star of the season. Eric Lamela gets the goal of the season for Spurs against Arsenal. In the team of the season, Heung-min Son finishes up front with Mo Salah. In the midfield, Harry Kane's up there as well in the free striking role. In the midfield, it's a midfield 3 of Bruno Fernandes, Ilkay Gundogan, I can't even say, Kevin De Bruyne, and then in defence you've got Luke Shaw, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, and Cancelo. So a defence dominated by the 2 Manchester clubs. And Ederson yet again is voted in the PFA Player of the Team of the Season as the top goalkeeper. Player of the Year again is Kevin De Bruyne. PFA Young Player of the Year is Phil Foden for Manchester City in his first major breakthrough season for Man City. He's now a regular. FWA Player of the Season, Ruben Diaz, a new signing from Manchester City. And Golden Boot winner was Harry Kane with 23 goals in the 2020-21 season. So, good season, Manchester City. Like I say, that's 3 titles now in the last 4 seasons. Going into the 2021-22 season, which is obviously last season. I forgot to mention, there was a massive shock in one of the games in the 2020-21 season, and that was Aston Villa absolutely smashing Liverpool 7-2. So that was the shock game of the season, really. Going into the 21-22 season, which is the last season, the season before the season that we're currently in the world right now. 2021-22, Manchester City win the title again. It's Manchester City now get back-to-back titles, but they're yet to do the feat, as I mentioned in the previous episode, to do 3 titles back-to-back. Now, this season, going into the 22-23 season, Arsenal are currently top, as a lot of us know, and Manchester City are not far behind. I think they're 1 point behind Arsenal. So I think, Manchester City may have a chance, a very, very good chance, because Liverpool haven't had a great start to the 2022-23 season. There may be a chance that Liverpool get to equal the record set by Alex Ferguson and Manchester United all those years ago in the Prem. So, but yeah, Manchester City win the title in the 2021-22 season. They finished top with 93 points, only 1 point clear yet again in a second time of doing it against Liverpool, who finished with 92 points in second. Chelsea finished way behind them with 74 points in third, and Spurs are finishing fourth with 71 points. Arsenal just miss out after having been in the top 4 for a lot of the season. They finished 2 points behind Spurs in fifth with 69 points, and Manchester United finish in 58 points in sixth. They have a really, really poor season. Solskjaer is sacked. Ralf Ragnick comes in. He's only there till the end of the season. Coach that none of us have really heard of. He'd done some work in Germany, but mainly was in the sporting director kind of role So Manchester have a really poor season, probably the poorest for a long, long time since David Moyes was in charge. When in the 2013-14 season, when Fergie had obviously left the previous season. So yeah, not a great season. Teams that got relegated in the 2021-22 season, it was Burnley, Watford, and Norwich City. Heung-min Son and Mohamed Salah finished as joint Golden Boot winners with 23 goals each. Roman Abramovich leaves as the Chelsea chairman. He'd been the Chelsea chairman since 2003, I believe. Won everything that there is to win with Chelsea. They won 3 league titles under him as chairman. But he leaves because of the war going on between Russia and Ukraine. And the British government decide that anyone that's could help the Russia, that's a billionaire or a millionaire in Russia, that they basically just cancel all their business transactions or anything that they own. So crazy one, but that's what they agreed on. So yeah, Roman Abramovich ends up selling the club. He sells it to a guy eventually called Todd Bowley from America, who's obviously the current chairman of Chelsea now. In the season, Grealish joins Manchester City for 100 million price tag from Aston Villa. It's a great goal of the season goes to Mohamed Salah against against Manchester City in a 2-2 draw. Star of the show's Mo Salah again. It's a great season for Mo Salah. Cristiano Ronaldo also makes a surprise return to Manchester United a couple of months into the season. He scores on his debut against Newcastle coming back, or his second debut, should I say. And he has a great season. He finishes with the season with 18 goals for Manchester United. Because of that, he finishes with Mohamed Salah in the PFA team of the season as the 2 strikers up front. Sadio Mane is there as well for Liverpool. And then in midfield, you've got Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri of Manchester City, and Bernardo Silva of Manchester City. In the defence, it's João Cancelo, Antonio Rudiger, Virgil van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And in the goalkeeper role, it's Alisson of Liverpool. So, as I say, quite a lot of changes in the season just gone in the 2021-22 season. But this has been my review of all the seasons of the Premier League. That was literally the last 4 seasons that have been played out. We're into the 22-23 season. Who knows what can happen? There looks like there's a good chance Manchester City could get 3 titles on the bounce, but we'll wait to see what happens in that. Obviously, stay tuned with my channel, because obviously I report on all the games every weekend. Basically, I do a review on the Sunday evening. So yeah, like and subscribe. Get behind us. We're going to get bigger and better. Got lots of content. I've got lots of knowledge on the game. If anyone else has any ideas of things that they would like to see on the show, let me know. But for now, have a great week. Come on, England tonight against Germany. I'm going to predict 1-1 in the game. England haven't been playing great. They're playing it's a Nation League game. There's not really much at stake apart from a bit of pride tonight. But I'm going to go for England to draw 1-1 with Germany. So, but anyway, have a great week, everybody, and catch up with you all soon. Bye for now. This has been Football Heaven 24/7.